I am Shayna Melissa Stockman, the world wellness expert. I will get you better and feeling better when your doctors don't. Today, we have a very, very, very special guest, a real go getter actress who appeared regularly on America's longest running CBS soap opera, As the World Turns. Lauretta
Nkwocha.
Nkwocha. Thank you, aka GingerTLady. She's appeared often also on BBS, TV shows, film, theater, and commercials, even a Guinness commercial. I did some research on you. I want to do Miss Lauretta justice. She's a British born Nigerian who is working in New York. She was recently sworn in as an American citizen. Kudos to you for doing it the right way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Loretta is a wife, a mother of two young children, and an entrepreneur. She's worked as a professional performer, ranging from, like I said, TV, BBC, singing, dancing, even London's West End stage, from playing Lady Macbeth in theaters in the UK, and also playing in America, like I said, on CBS soap As the World Turns. And I know she's even collaborated with Luther Vandross, legends like that, and singing even for Bravo's Real Housewives of New York. She's been an entrepreneur. Loretta makes and sells her own brand of healthy beverages, currently available online and in many, many, many stores all over Long Island and rapidly expanding. Loretta, aka British Tea Lady, has a special blend of ingredients that's packed. They're natural ingredients. They will help your support your immune system and soothe your tummy. And this has allowed Loretta to live a life free of colds and illnesses since 20 for many, many years. We'll say a decade. So, Miss Loretta, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing?
Thank you, Shayna. My goodness, I love that introduction. It's fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for having me
Oh,
on. Oh my
you're
goodness
welcome.
me. We just met, what was that, like a month ago or
Recently,
something?
yes.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. The pink hair threw me off. I was just doing research on you last night and I watched a few of your episodes of As the World Turns, and I saw you kiss these nice looking men, and I saw you get in a cat fight with a lady, and the lady's son say, "Leave my mama alone," get that man out of town. And that was good. That was good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, my character on As the World Turns, her name was Kit Fowler. She was a very naughty girl.
I know. Oh my God, she was busy. And maybe at the end, if we have a minute, I might ask you an acting tip because I have a scene coming up that I really like your opinion on.
Ooh,
Yes, I
okay.
I just got a new script and I'm doing a reading today, and we're shooting on Saturday.
Okay. That's all right. That's enough
Doing
time.
a lot more lines for me than I anticipated, but I'm happy, so I'll take it.
All right. Well done, first of all. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right. We'll work through it.
All right, awesome. So I wanted to ask you. So thank you again for being here, and congratulations on your long success with TV commercials, theaters, singing, and the ginger tea. And I know we wanted to dive into that. Now I know a little bit of the back end, but can you explain for the viewers how the ginger tea came about and why?
Well, it does go back to 2014. Prior to that, I certainly did not know anything about ginger tea. I did not know what ginger root looked like at all. It was basically due to pregnancy nausea. I had a baby before and I was sipping on ginger ale the whole time that I was pregnant because I had all day nausea. They say that it's, morning sickness and it's just for the first trimester. Well, for some of us, it is all day and it is for the whole pregnancy. Yay. Um, so for my second baby, I did not want to be drinking ginger ale because I'm not really a soda person and I was really uncomfortable with having to sip on this can of goodness knows what was in there. I'm sure there was a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of ginger, so it did kind of help ease my discomfort a little bit. So being British, I thought, well, let me go and find some tea bags. We drink tea in England and other places in the world as well, but mostly in England. So I found all the ginger tea bags that I could find in the grocery store, and literally they were so weak They did nothing for me. I had to put maybe 4 or 5 tea bags in one cup, and it still wasn't strong enough. My doctor recommended ginger crystals, which were basically like eating candy. Another thing they recommended was maybe having the anti-nausea shot. I said, nope, 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 nope. I'm not
No,
going.
no,
I'm
no.
making a human being here. Do
Yes.
not want any medication.
You're
So
smart enough to realize that even something, just because the doctor says it doesn't mean it's right. That baby is forming and not fully formed. And
right,
there's so many synthetics, especially in these injections and preservatives and heavy metals.
yeah.
And no, no, no.
And I didn't even know the ins and outs of it. I just know my own instinct said, no, do not go and put anything foreign into your body while you are making a human being. Just don't do it. Wait till afterwards.
Kudos to you
So,
for that, because a lot of women listen to their doctor and be like, okay, doc, just give me a shot, roll up their sleeve.
yeah, yeah.
That's
It's because we're supposed to be able to trust our medical providers, right? We're supposed to be able to, but there also is something that Mother Nature gave us, which if you are having a baby and you are carrying
Intuition.
a baby, you have mother's instinct, so you should always listen to it. If something doesn't feel right for you, it might be right for other people, but if it doesn't feel right for you, listen to your instincts. We
Mhm.
go wrong when we ignore that inner voice. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So my husband was the one who said, listen, I'll go to the grocery store, I will find you some ginger root, slice it up, boil it up, you can make your own tea. I was like, okay. I didn't know what ginger root was. I was like, okay, let me give it
It's
a try.
this.
It's exactly. Look at you with your props.
I had
My
it in my it's
goodness.
not just a prop, I had this in my refrigerator because I had ordered this even I ordered ginger root periodically even before we had met.
I love
I know the
that. And
power.
it should be in everyone's fridge or on their counter or whatever,
Mhm.
because it is really it's a natural medicine for so many
Oh,
things.
that's good that you said that because I wanted to explain for the viewers that might not realize it. There's a couple of terms like naturopathy, like what I do.
Mm,
Naturopathy is using natural occurring things like herbs, plant-based, ginger roots.
right.
So that's what naturopathy is about. And the newer term we call now is adaptogens. Adaptogens are natural plant-based botanicals and roots and herbs that can help our bodies adapt to the environment. So I would call this an adaptogen if you want a new term for it, or
Adaptogen. I'm
using
going
naturopathy.
adaptogen. I'm writing that down.
Yes, and the power of the ginger root is so important. Yes, so your husband said, "Okay, why don't you get some I'll get you some ginger root, chop it up."
It was amazing. It completely alleviated the nausea, and I loved the flavor of it. It obviously did not taste like the ginger ale that I had been sipping with my first pregnancy. So I loved the flavor. So I just kept on making it. It eliminated the nausea, but I loved it. So I kept drinking it. And over the years, I added, I guess, 3 more ingredients to this brew to kind of make it, just sort of really pump up the immune boosting aspect of it.
Mm,
I didn't know that it was such an immune booster. I didn't really know much about ginger and what its fantastic properties are. Things like obviously helping with nausea and
mhm.
menstrual cramps. It actually helps with balancing weight as well, kind of help you sort of maintaining the weight
Oh,
that you want to maintain. It lowers your blood sugar, which I did not know that either. Um, Osteoarthritis for people that are kind of suffering with that type of thing, it kind of helps to ease the discomfort of that as well. And of course, being a gut health thing, it helps with indigestion. And I actually
mm,
recommended to sip on ginger tea or, bite on ginger, whatever it is, chew on it, suck on it, whatever you want to do after eating a meal to kind of help with,
yes.
aid digest your food. So I was periodically over the years, so this was 2014, over the years when friends would get sick, I would make a big batch of Loretta's British ginger tea and deliver it to their house and say, feel better, whatever. My sister, Christmas 2021, no, 2020 going to 2021, I was making little bottles for friends for them to make hot toddies. Delicious. Ginger tea, maybe an echinacea tea bag, a little bit of brandy.
Oh, you're speaking my language now.
Ooh, and works a treat. Like if you feel like you're getting sick or whatever,
Mm,
cold, flu, drinking that late at night, have a nice, good sort of, peaceful sleep. You wake up and you feel refreshed. You feel really good. So I was making it for friends just as gifts for some of the mothers in my neighborhood. My sister was like, why aren't you selling this? Like you give it away to friends, you make it, you're giving it away to as gifts, whatever. Why not try selling it? I said, okay, I'm going to give it a try. And that is when I realized, when I was kind of putting things together for the packaging and, figuring out information about ginger and all that type of thing, I realized that since 2014, when I first started drinking it, I hadn't had a cold or flu.
Nice.
Sinus infections I used to get a lot as a singer, which was detrimental for your singing life, really. When you're singing live in front of people, I've had instances where my voice would just cut out. I've had like 2 or 3 instances where it just completely cut out halfway through a gig. And my doctor would just prescribe me antibiotics. I would take them, the voice would come back, and then I'd suffer the after effects of the antibiotics, which I'm sure you probably know.
Yes, the women with the yeast and maybe they get C. diff or diarrhea. Yes, and it's harder too when you're live, like in theater. It's not like a recording where you could be like, okay, take 2.
It's traumatizing, as an actor or as a singer, you've got to learn lines, you've got to learn, if you're a singer, you learn choreography, all that type of stuff. So you've got a lot that you're balancing, as well as a live audience that you're trying to entertain. So to not have the one thing that the people have come there to see, when that goes out, it's soul destroying. Thankfully, the times that it's happened, I've been on stage with other people, and so they've been able to cover for me, so maybe my voice went down like 10 octaves,
and they're like,
or whatever. It's not a pleasant sound.
wow.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I love the power of ginger, and I love my adaptogens and my naturopathy. And I've been doing, my grandma raised me in the 70s, God rest her soul. And she raised me with the power of what we call God's medicine cabinet. And now, yes, this is God's medicine cabinet. Now, what people don't realize, and I've tried your ginger tea, it really is good. But what a lot of people don't realize is, like you and I, we know quality and we do good quality products. But there's a lot of like ginger, the active ingredient that you need to help comes from the root. So they have to chop down part of the root to get you the active ingredient. And there's companies out there that might take, instead of the root of a plant where the active ingredient is, they might take the leaf, the stem, and chop it up and say, look, I have whatever, ginger. But even though it's the plant, it's not the active, where the active ingredient comes from. For ginger, I know you need the root. So that's where it could be a little costly, because they're actually chopping down the root where it grows from.
It's costly, but also it's more potent. So it does the job. It does what it says.
Yes.
It does what it's supposed to
Yes,
do.
and I like ginger because when I do one of my online classes, courses, and workshops, I have one that's called Food Pharmacy actually coming up. And I show a picture of all different foods and I say, hey, what do these have in common? And then I show, and I say, look, these foods are all natural anti-inflammatories. And I included a picture of ginger because ginger is a very powerful natural anti-inflammatory. Oh, I love it, love it, love it, love it. Yes,
and
yes.
when it's used correctly as well, because my drink, it's very different from anything on the market. Hence, that's
It's
why
potent. I could really taste that
right? You
ginger in
remember
it.
you
It's
had a bit of a
good.
taster when we met, right?
Yes,
It's
and the
very
sweet
strong.
one too.
Yes. And now the good thing about the sweet one, it has those ingredients. So you got cinnamon, you got elderberry, you got manuka honey, and of course you have ginger. The sweet one is sweetened with raw local runny honey. So the local honey helps you with allergies and stuff like that. But
Yes,
because of the amount that I put in it, it somehow cuts the potency of the ginger. So you get the good benefits of this
oh,
drink.
without that strong taste.
Right, exactly. That's my preferred version. My husband drinks the unsweetened one straight out the fridge. He is
Oh, I
hard.
like that sweetened
I
one.
have a lot of customers that prefer to go for the original unsweetened. I do prefer the sweetened. I drink it warm. Sometimes I'll drink it cold, maybe on the weekends, maybe with some tequila. Yeah,
Nice. And what I liked is that it only has a few simple ingredients and you can pronounce them all. They're not these big chemical names, preservative, additives, fillers. Like everything I drink doesn't have added preservatives, colors, fillers, artificial sweeteners. I don't do any of that. So even the other things that my clients know, they're like, what are you drinking? No, I drink your ginger tea, but I also drink a healthy energy drink too, because, I love that energy and the focus and the concentration it gives me. So, there's room for everything in the world. And that's where, people are used to maybe their parents or grandparents telling them, have a ginger ale when you're nauseous. Is I believe they used to put ginger in it, but I don't know how good it is now in that aluminum can. And God knows what other metals are leaking. Like, who knows? And I
well,
like that.
I've been told recently, and this is what I'm actually looking into myself, that now, however they're making the aluminum cans now, that they are infinitely recyclable. Talk to me about what you know about Aluminium. We call it aluminium in England. So
Okay, I
is
learned.
the American pronunciation.
Okay, if you're a jewelry girl, you might notice some jewelry you wear makes your skin, I don't know if it's silver or gold, turn that little blackish color on it. And
Right.
that's because it's not pure. There is no metals that are pure anymore. Everything is broken down to make it cheaper. You can't get, pure gold. Even when people get joint replacements, they think they're getting titanium. Oh no, they're not. Just so you know, yes, yes, yes. I went through this when my jaw was dislocated from an airbag, and I can finally talk about this now. 3 reconstructions all failed. It's still dislocated. The doctor hit my trigeminal nerve, the surgeon. I couldn't even touch my hair. But due to God's medicine and all the adaptogens I'm doing, I can eat steak and touch my face now without pain. But oh, now, so this surgeon said, you know what? Let's put a joint replacement in your jaw. We're going to put and I said, well, whoa, what is that made of? Oh, titanium. And I said, Doc, with all due respect, nothing is pure metal anymore. What else is in that titanium? He goes, no, it's just titanium, just titanium. And I kept nagging and nagging and nagging. And I didn't know the manufacturer to look it up myself. So finally, I said, Doc, I am highly allergic to nickel. Nickel is another metal, and I bet you there's nickel in that titanium joint replacement. He didn't think so. Anyway, he got back to me. And he's like, oh, yeah, but it's just 5%. And I said, whoa, excuse me. You're going to take out a joint that kind of works, insert something within my body that I am highly allergic to. And it's okay because it's only 5% nickel. No. So a lot of people out there, this is a good thing to let you know. If you're going for a joint replacement and you're told it's a titanium replacement and you are allergic to nickel, you might want to have that long talk with that surgeon, because I know other people had joint replacements put in them, were allergic to nickel. The surgeon knew it, and the surgeon didn't realize there was also nickel in that titanium hip replacement. How's
So
that one for you?
what are the effects of having, like, when you're allergic to it? So what happens? Does it
Well, I
erode?
didn't get this implanted in me, but I know a lot of times if I wear certain jewelry that has nickel in it, my ears would get red, swollen, and intensely itchy. I can't imagine putting something with nickel implanted within my body. So that's a little off topic. So I love your other ingredients. I know ginger is great for nausea, great anti-inflammatory. Cinnamon is great anti-inflammatory, and also I sprinkle cinnamon on everything because it also helps aid glucose metabolism, helps you digest the carbohydrates and break them down. And when I was in the Caribbean, I got the cinnamon sticks and the little grater, but that
Yeah.
was so hard. That little grater really did work to break down the cinnamon. And then I know also you have elderberry in there, which is great to support your immune system. I love the power of elderberry. I just don't recommend it for someone that has an active the virus infection, because
Mm.
newer studies are saying to take it to help avoid that, but
Yeah.
not during the active infection of that special one virus that we won't mention the name here.
Okay. I mean, I know that the reason I even discovered the elderberry to use it in the tea is that my family and I have just been taking the gummies actually for a long time, because the kids, that's what they'll take.
Yes,
And I was like, well, I used to take the syrup, and then I started just taking the gummies as well. And then 2020, when lockdown happened, I went to my health food store to go and get my supplies, and the shelves were empty. I was like, what has happened? They were
yes.
like, yeah,
And I
everyone has
think this is
discovered elderberry.
better. This is better than the gummies, because the gummies, you don't know what else is in those gels and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. This
You
is,
know,
so what I use is dry elderberry. Basically, I use
nice.
dried elderberry, and that's what goes in there. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like the taste of elderberry. I have an immune supporter, if you will, because we can't make claims to diagnose, cure, treat, mitigate with natural occurring things, because our lovely FDA likes to keep a stronghold and billions of dollars coming in from the big companies, if you
Big
will.
pharma.
Yes. I kind of watch my words because I know where we stream. But and then the power of manuka is huge with immune and other things, and it tastes yummy. I don't use regular honey here. I use manuka. I know manuka costs more, but it's so much more potent and powerful. And sometimes people have to realize what they're getting, and sometimes a lot better quality is worth it when the cheaper quality is not getting you any benefits.
Yeah,
So
I heard someone say recently, you either pay the store for the good quality product, or you pay the doctor Okay,
Yes, that's
take
a very good point. Yes, yes, yes. I would rather spend to keep the apple a day to keep the doctor away now, because that apple's a lot cheaper than getting that illness, getting that cancer, that diabetes. So people look at it as spending, but you know what? They're going to easily go out to a rock concert and spend several $100s in one pop, where
right.
they could have been healthy for several months.
Yeah,
So it's redirect spending. That's a very good point.
yeah.
Also, what else did we want to say? Yeah, there's people may not realize this about naturopathy. Rockefeller, I'm going to go there with this. Rockefeller was a very, very, very rich man. I don't know if he was one of the richest at the time or all time or whatever. Him and J.P. Morgan, I don't know if you heard of that bank,
Of
right?
course, I back
And
the partner, Chase.
yes, and there was a third man. I don't want to misquote the name. What happened was Rockefeller used to had all these oil industries, and he had such a surplus of oil. And he's like, so the price is going down when he has a surplus. He's like, how else can I use these chemical components in there? So what he did was he found a way to take plant-based ingredients that were helping our health, and he mixed it with the components he extracted from the oil, and he called it a drug, right? This is where, yes, if you ever look at, I don't know if you ever get an ointment you put in your eye, it has a petroleum base, right? So what he did was he went to the pharmaceutical companies, this Rockefeller, the medical schools, and he said, listen, I will grant you guys tons of money if you don't use naturopathy anymore. You don't talk about plant-based. Yes, look it up. Look up Rockefeller medicine. And yes, if you dig hard enough, it's hard to find on Google. He basically said, I'm going to fund all these medical schools. And I think it was like Harvard and Hopkins, a lot of the big ones. He said, I'm going to fund you guys, but you can't talk about plant-based remedies at all. And and you're going to threaten those doctors if they do that. They're going to lose their license. They're not going to get their degree. So look that up. So it was basically started because he had all this surplus of oil. He found ways to extract components, mix it with plant-based, because plants you can't patent unless you make plant-based with like synthetics or a mix of it. So he found a way, and that's where the start of good old medicine came in with the big dollars.
Wow, wow,
Yes.
fascinating.
Yes. So I have doctors now that are my clients, and they're like, some of them are hush hush about what they do to this day, like really old school docs. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
craziness. So I didn't want to go there.
No, but it's
And
hard to not go there because it's like we have to strip everything back down to
yes.
the basics,
And
right?
yes, and even like you're smart enough to know when you're pregnant, everything's getting through to that baby. And even that's what, don't get me started with that protection during the whole pregnancy thing. That's a whole other game. I don't want to go there. But also even during nursing too, a lot of women don't realize everything passes through the breast milk. So when that doctor puts you on that antidepressant, almost all of them are going through the breast milk.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we don't know long term. They're not really studying those babies long term. So let's see how their development is. So
It's interesting. Yeah, everything you eat, because I even have the issue because I used to love these spicy sausages, and I would eat them, and my youngest at the time, he was not happy when I had feed him. The doctor's like, "Yeah, I think your milk might be a little bit spicy. You might, are you eating anything really spicy?" And I do like spicy food, so I had to cut out all my spicy stuff. Yeah,
yes.
while I was breastfeeding.
I had a home remedy my mom taught me for the GI upset. It wasn't ginger, it was something else, but it works really good. And still to this day, I remember during the height of the pandemic, a friend called me up and they seemed symptoms like they had a bleeding ulcer, right? And this is diagnosing them over the phone. They weren't my patient. So I told her this remedy. I go to your next door neighbor, see if they have da da da, and do this and this and this. She was ready to go to the ER. She was nauseous, vomiting. It seemed like a bleeding ulcer. And in the height of the pandemic, I didn't want her going to the ER and catching something, right? So I go, see if your neighbor has this and this. And she's like, oh my God, that worked. Why didn't my doctor ever tell me that? The doctors go to medical school to learn medicine. They don't know this. And when I teach them this, there's a couple types of docs. I think there's like three types, not to generalize. a lot of them, there's a lot of junk out there. So some of them are guarded, right? And some are don't want to say they don't know. And some are like,
all those years of studying, they don't want to say they don't know something.
yes, yes, yes. So, and then usually, if they're that type of doctor, which is a good doctor, I think it's okay to admit when you don't know, because we don't all know everything.
Yeah.
A good doctor will say, you know what, and he's done this. My client has a lot of weird stuff, and they're like, you know what, my doc's been my doc for like 10 years. Can I run it by him? I'm like, okay. So a good doc will say, you know what, I don't know, and then they go, oh my god, they look it up and they're like, this good, this very very good, and then there's the type that turn the blind eye, where they're like, they know it's going to help their clients get better, but in their mind they might look at it as losing money because now they're not coming in every month sick.
Yeah.
So yes. And what else can you tell us about this ginger tea lady, about the ginger tea?
Darling, it's available in stores, which was the best thing to go. I first started selling it in the farmers market so I can get some people to actually taste it there and then, have them sample it and give me their opinions of this beverage that I've been drinking for all these years. September 2021, I made my first sale, went into my local coffee shop here, and then the health food store, and then another store, another coffee shop, and then basically now I'm in 18 retail stores. Most recently, I went into the Stony Brook University Medical Center in Southampton. And I do want to get more involved with medical facilities, especially those that are helping patients that are going through chemotherapy, because I think that with such a powerful immune booster as it is, it's proven it in my life without, the fact that I've had no colds or flus all this time.
Mm-hmm.
Youngest we had to use the bronchitis medicine, like a medical machine, like a nebulizer. I think it's a nebulizer. That's it. We used to use a nebulizer on him like every cold and flu season. For the last year and a half, almost 2 years, we haven't had to use it because I've been sneaking my ginger tea into all of his beverages, which really is only apple juice and water. But he knows about it now, so he drinks it willingly because he knows he's only seen the doctor once a year for his annual visits. So I know that possibly it could help patients that are going through chemotherapy. My mother unfortunately passed away from cancer back in 2006. Thank you. But there are so many people that have, cancer their lives. It's every person you meet.
I feel a huge collaboration here coming up in the future. I love my cancer warriors. I try to specialize in autoimmune disorders because there's over 100 of them: MS, rheumatoid, IBS, irritable bowel, Crohn's. They go on and on and on. I try to specialize in autoimmune, those having long haulers problems from the protection or infection, and cancer. I love help my cancer warriors, and some of them got such amazing results that even Sloan Kettering, the cancer center, is like, whoa, what are you doing? I got to know about this. So one of my recent successes in inoperable cancer, you would think had a month or two left, elderly woman, is here still, full quality of life 3+ years later. And they're like, what? So yes. And her whole chemo doing what I told her to do, naturopathy, and she ate regular diet as well. I'd like to watch them if they can watch their sugars. But when I told her to do what I was doing and how to activate her genes and genetic highways and pathways so her own body does what it used to do and should, with all plant-based, natural roots and things like that, in a very simple way. Everything is broken down into capsules and caplets for her, so she doesn't have to chop up everything and do all this weird stuff. But her whole chemo, she never got any other symptoms that made her. She didn't get the nausea, the vomiting. She didn't have any of her cells drop low where she had to hold chemo, stop chemo. The only thing she had was hair loss. So I have a lot of chemo warriors that, in conjunction, they can choose to do chemo. As a naturopath, I'm not saying, as a naturopathic person, healthcare provider, I'm not saying necessarily just do what I'm doing. A lot of times with cancer, they might choose chemo and what I'm doing. And exactly. So that's important for people to know, because they already think like, oh, you're more natural. No, you don't have to pick one lane or the other. You can have the best of both worlds. When you have cancer, you got to get all your warriors out there. And I know you only have another minute because you have to run, but I wanted to ask you this. So I want people to go get your ginger tea all over Long Island. Go to your website, have it. Do you ship to them as well?
I ship. I am currently looking at changing my packaging because it is it doesn't sit well with me that we're in these plastic bottles, you know.
Mm,
I was recently told that there are variations in quality of plastic and you can get ones that are recyclable. I don't know. I need to look into that, and maybe you can help enlighten me as well, because you
ooh,
know a lot about this type of thing, and kind of what the
yes.
effects are of various types of packaging.
Oh,
I know glass for me would be ideal, but
yes.
it is heavy, it is expensive, and of course you get breakages. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
I
True.
need a solution that makes the most sense financially and makes the most sense so that I can actually easily ship not just across states, but across the country and across the world, because I have had inquiries from outside of the country and I want to get to that point. But currently we are
Nice.
shipping. We are trying to limit the amount of shipping until we figure out this whole packaging issue. So this is where we're at right now, but I am delivering to some of the stores, kind of really sort of bringing the production down a little bit while I'm focusing
Nice.
on getting the beverage to the point where I can also extend the shelf life. So we're working on adding a little bit of lemon as well to kind of make sure
Oh,
that
yes, because that's a natural preservative kind
yeah,
of, right? It keeps down
exactly.
the bacterial growth and everything.
Yeah. So I
And
might
it's great
need you to help me.
anti-inflammatory too.
I might need you to help me with a bit of taste testing, because I'm
Oh,
so
yeah,
quick
I'd
on the
love
tongue,
to. I'm in. I'm in.
right?
But
Okay, good. Yeah.
also, I know we have 1 quick minute left. Can you maybe share? Oh, I wanted to tell them this before we go. Well, what? Give me one tip for acting since I have this shoot on Saturday.
Okay, the best tip for acting, I would say, which has kind of taken me a long way, because I did work for over 10 years in England as an actor on stage, TV, everything, and then came here and did more work. The best tip is to be, first of all, get all the information that you can about this character that you're playing. Even if they only have one line, make up a life for them, because it's a real person.
Yes.
Someone has written this character from a real person. So make up their life story. Where do they come from? Where have they been? What are their desires? What are their dreams? What are their problems that they're dealing with now? Give them a name if they don't have a name. If you happen to be playing a character that doesn't have a name, give them a full life. Yes. And then imagine like it's someone you know really well, and then be as natural with any words that this character speaks as possible.
Yes.
Do not, and even if you're affecting an accent, because as you know, if you saw As the World Turns, you know that I was not playing a British person,
Yes.
but
That was
you
good. You got rid of that accent too.
so you kind of make it as natural as part of you, as much a part of you
Well,
as
girl,
possible.
thank
You know,
you. This role is so opposite me. Like this is going to test me to the max because
tell
it
me
is.
about the character. Tell me.
Yeah. No, no, I'm going to let it be a surprise. But it is so opposite everything of me. Like this is really going to test some skills here. It's not like
Woo!
me acting like me, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't want to tell too much, but it's crazy.
This is
You know,
fun. This is exciting. This is very exciting to do.
it'd be easier to play me. Just give me a character like me.
No, you don't want to play yourself. You play yourself every day. Play someone else. Give yourself
Okay.
an interesting character to
That,
play.
that that's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to share this. So go get uh your tea, right? Where do they find you?
Loretta's British Ginger Tea, definitely available online, lorettasbritishgingertea.com. Depending on where you live in Long Island, you can find it at North Shore Farms, Cornucopia, Babylon Bean, Long Island Taste.
And you're going to be adding more and more locations. So just go
Yeah,
to
it's
Loretta's British
working.
Tea.com.
Exactly. Currently, I'm a solopreneur, so I'm doing this all myself. So
Now,
I'm going in.
yes, when they go to find you, it's Loretta's British Tea, just the letter T, right?
Literally Loretta's British ginger leather tea. Yes, because
There
it's
you go.
effectively not the leaves. You know, you were saying before how with ginger,
Yes, you need the
it's the root.
root.
It's not the leaves, which are less potent and less effective. It is the
Mm,
root. Everything
awesome.
down to the root.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And you guys stay tuned. There's going to be more to come. Maybe we'll have Loretta back in the future when we talk about, helping the cancer warriors or something between my naturopathy and adaptogens
Yeah.
and maybe some ginger tea and stuff. And I just wanted to tell them stay tuned because we're going to have de-stress before the holidays coming up. So guys, if you're not already getting my newsletter, go to worldwellnessexpert.com, or I have a free daily dose of positivity. When they go to worldwellnessexpert.com, you can get a free daily dose of positivity. It's a little thing that you get every single day for 30 days. And it's really, really cool. And then that's how you'll stay up to date with exclusive invites, special offers, upcoming events. And soon we're going to have de-stress before the holidays. It is so important. People are like so stressing out now, and then they can't enjoy the holidays. It's like a wedding. You plan it for so long, and then it's over before you know it. I want to help everyone get rid of that stress, save time, and save money before the holidays so that they can truly relax for the holidays. So that's my next event. And they can learn more about that at worldwellnessexpert.com or sign up for the newsletter. And then my next course is going to be Get Healthy and Happy with Me. I'm getting ready to launch that. That's going to be awesome because one set of the modules in there is all going to be about adaptogens, naturopathy, food pharmacy. How in our busy lifestyles can we incorporate things like this into our everyday lifestyle, right? What happens if you're cooking, say that nice fish, wild caught fish with the omegas in it, and you're chopping up garlic and lemon and onion, all natural anti-inflammatories. Or I even say in there, you take your tea, add some ginger, add some lemon to it. You're getting natural anti-inflammatories in your everyday busy lifestyle in just, seconds at a time. So thank you again very, very much for being here. I feel a future collaboration. Maybe we'll have you back for another episode.
Yes.
And
Thank
thank
you,
Thank
Shayna.
you, thank you, thank you. And be well, biohack, Olo, and check out worldwellnessexpert.com and the British tea. Bye, guys.